Good afternoon, guys. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This week I wanted to do a video on how to make your dreams your reality. And no, this is not a topic that can easily be covered in a 10-minute YouTube video, but I feel like there's some fundamental sort of steps that you can take every day in your life to give it the highest chance of actually happening, because from my own personal experience, thankfully most of the things like goals and dreams that I've had and wanted to pursue have actually eventually worked out and are still obviously coming to be, since I am a work in progress. So I do feel like I have a lot to share on the topic, since I do live a sort of eccentric sort of lifestyle, you could say. So if you guys are interested, please keep watching. So the very first step in making your dreams your reality is a step that is so very greatly overlooked, and because it seems so obvious, but it's not, and that is figuring out what you want. And no, it's not always going to be what your parents want for you, what our, societal norms are, what your best friend is doing, what your idol does. It's going to be different for every single person. Because yes, everybody generally wants things like love and success and having fun and adventures, but the way we go about them and the sort of individual traits that come with each are going to be so vastly different from person to person. The number one tip I can kind of give in figuring out what you want is kind of a two-part sort of expedition, where first of all, you're going to spend a lot of time, in experiences that make you slightly uncomfortable and things that you don't know anything about. So the best way to do this is obviously, in my opinion, traveling, because it exposes you to so many different things all at once. It makes you incredibly uncomfortable. Experiences you're having are very raw, very real, and they will definitely make you re-examine the way that you looked at life before. And the next step that I very, very highly recommend is spending a lot of time alone. And I think this is so very underrated and probably not done that often by most people, to be honest. And that is just sitting in the very sometimes uncomfortable mess that is ourselves, and really having to deal with everything going on up here and in here without any sort of distraction. So no other people, no media, no nothing. Definitely the best way to do this is to just go in a forest, go somewhere in nature, and just sit there. Just sit there for hours every single day and just see what comes up. Because trust me, when you don't have all these people in your ear, telling you how something is, how to feel, how to be, expectations, just a whole bunch of noise constantly going through you, when you really do sit in stillness and let whatever's going on inside you kind of work its way through everything, you will be very, very shocked just the incredible sort of, epiphanies that you might have, and realize that you know exactly what you're doing, and that, these steps are going to be what's best for you, and you're going to think of new ways to tackle your problems that you would have never thought of if you were just constantly under the pressure of this absolutely crazy world we live in. So I think it's important to just figure out what is it that's going to get you to that place where you're content and happy with your life and yourself, and you're accomplishing the things you want to accomplish. So definitely my biggest recommendation would be to just get to know yourself, to figure out the things that bring you fulfillment and nourishment and happiness in every single day, not some far off idea of what could possibly be, but in the essence of every single day, what is going to make you happy, and work from there. And the second step is the absolute most important question you will ever ask yourself, and that is why. Why? Question everything, absolutely everything. Until it drives you absolutely crazy, question everything. I'm not saying, just don't take advice of people who have good advice, but I'm saying to question it, to think for yourself, to kind of weigh the options. Don't just take something at first glance and not do any sort of research on your own. One of the main reasons of why we ask ourselves this, I think, is because when push comes to shove, if we don't have a good reason of why we're doing something, we're going to be so very easily influenced by the opinions of other people, because we don't have a very good reason to stay through the hard times. So whether this comes in the form of a relationship or a job or just really anything, if we don't have a good reason of why we're doing something, we're just going to drop it, or we're going to, give up when times get rough, and that's just no way to live life, because you're just going to have a whole bunch of unfinished business, and nobody needs that. So I am a very great believer in, of course, figuring out the things that make you happy, but after that, asking yourself why. And is that actually a good thing? Is that something positive? Where is that going to lead? And why is it important? Because trust me, you don't want to be one of those people that looks back on their life and regrets not following their dreams, not having said the things they wanted to say, to do the things they wanted to do, and you just live a mindless sort of existence that you really have no control over, because at the end of the day, you don't know why you're doing it. The third step is knowledge is power, because we as human beings truly do believe that things are much more possible once we have a very good foundation of knowledge on a subject, once we can kind of feel like an expert in doing whatever it is we're doing. And the only way that that's really ever going to come to be is with practice, depending on what it is you want to achieve, and information. And that education doesn't always have to come in the form of going to school. It can come from your own research, your own just experience, asking people around you for advice. You just have to put yourself in the mindset of, I'm going to learn as much as possible about this topic and apply myself as much as possible and put in as many hours, and because that's what's going to give you the confidence to keep pursuing what you want to pursue. When I went to Japan as a freelance artist, it was incredibly difficult because I really was going on a clear sort of slate. Like, yes, I had my background knowledge of, the industry because I had been there before, but since I was going on my own and didn't have, an agent yet, even just like finding somewhere to live and the language barrier and all these different things were definitely challenges. But after I did my research and reached out to people and, really thought things through and learned by my mistakes, obviously, things slowly started to come together, and I did become a sort of expert on the subject, and now when I go back, it's definitely not as difficult. And the fourth step is reach out and tell people what it is you actually want to do. Because trust me, you are definitely shooting yourself in the foot if you are keeping it to yourself what it is you're passionate about and what it is you want to do. Because when we put it out there that this is what we're interested in, this is what we want to have happen, not only are we being authentic to ourselves and being honest with what it is we want in our lives, but we attract the kind of people that could possibly help us. So you never know what kind of connections the people you meet might have, how you might be able to help each other, and just the kind of things that can come from it. So I think it's really important to put it out there, so in a way you are held accountable in a sense, and that other people can possibly help you. Don't be afraid that somebody's going to judge you, because you don't need those kind of people in your life anyway. You want to attract the people that can help you and that can move in the direction you're moving. So we need to be honest and authentic with who we are and what we want. And the last step is exactly actually where I am right now, and that is stepping into radical action. Because let's say you've done the first step, you've figured out what you want, you have a good reason of why you're doing it, you've become an expert on the subject, you've reached out to other people, and yet you are not exactly where you'd like to be, or things aren't quite going as you'd like, and you finally hit this sort of wall where you just can't wait any longer for other people to come along and help you out. You have to take matters into your own hands, and you have to work every single day in doing everything you possibly can on your own to make it happen. So while it is great to have amazing people to help you along on your journey, definitely take pride in being your own best friend, your own advocate, and your own cheerleader, and constantly pursuing what you want every single day, with or without anyone else. It's like they say, if you want something done right, do it yourself. So those are my 5 foundational sort of tips on how to make your dreams your reality. But I'm going to give you one little bonus one, and it comes straight from the law of attraction, and that is pretend like what you want is what you already have. Because this world, our perception of it anyway, is very much a mirror of what's going on in here. So if you already feel like you're a superstar, if you're already dressing for the job you want, you're going to get that job because you already have it. So we really need to live in the state where we believe that something that we want is absolutely possible. We are already these things, and that these things are going to happen. So walk with your head held high and know that you are absolutely capable of achieving whatever it is you want to achieve. And trust me, amazing things will happen for you. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know in the comments down below what you do on a daily basis to move closer to your goals and your dreams. I'd love to hear all about it. And if you have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see me do, please let me know that as well. Subscribe if you already haven't. And until I see you guys next time, keep being your own kind of beautiful, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.